Hey everyone, what's going on? We're back with another video, and today's story could shake the entire WNBA world. Because guess what? It looks like there's a real possibility Caitlin Clark might return for the playoffs. Yeah, you heard that right. For this one, we've got to head straight up to Indy. Let's dive in. Now listen, about 2 weeks ago, the Indiana Fever made it official. Caitlin Clark would not be back for the remainder of the 2025 regular season. That was the message. That was the press release. Case closed. Everyone moved on. But here's where it gets interesting. The regular season is over now, and Indiana is sitting in the semifinals, just steps away from the WNBA championship. And suddenly, a little wrinkle in the league rules has people whispering that maybe, just maybe, the superstar herself could return to the court. If you're a Fever fan or part of Clark Nation, this is exactly the kind of news you've been waiting on. I'm not even going to lie, we've been hoping for this since yesterday. Because let's keep it real. If Caitlin Clark suits up, it almost guarantees a championship push. That's how valuable she is. That's how much she's transformed this team since the day she entered the league. Think about it. Clark played only 13 games this year. Just 13. And yet, even without her, the Fever have battled through injuries, setbacks, and all kinds of drama, and they're still standing tall in the semifinals. That alone is incredible. But then you factor Caitlin back into the mix? Man, that's like dropping the ultimate cherry on top of a championship sundae. Now, I know some of you are saying, no way. There's no chance she comes back. And yeah, on paper, it does seem unlikely. But here's the twist. Caitlin was reportedly dealing with a groin injury. And if you know anything about sports medicine, a groin strain usually needs maybe 2 to 3 weeks to heal, even in tough cases. But it's been 10 weeks now, 10 full weeks, and still no Clark. So what's really going on here? Is she truly still hurt, or is someone, maybe the Fever front office, maybe even the WNBA, keeping her on the sidelines? Plenty of fans believe this has gone beyond the injury itself. Some think the league might be stepping in saying, hold up. Caitlin is the face of the WNBA, the engine for everything we're building. We don't want her risking a setback that could harm the future. And on one hand, I understand that. But on the other, it feels off. Because if you know Caitlin Clark, you know she's wired to compete. She's built for big moments. And if she's even close to being healthy, wouldn't she want to be out there fighting with her team in the playoffs? That's the real question. Is this her decision, her management's, or someone higher up pulling the strings? And look, nobody's expecting her to drop 40 the second she touches the floor. But the optics of her sitting on the sidelines while her teammates are grinding, it's starting to feel strange. Fans are beginning to wonder if she's being overprotected, or if she herself doesn't want to risk it. Either way, this is turning messy, and it could affect her career, her reputation, even her legacy. Because history remembers moments like this. Remember, Michael Jordan once got benched by management when he wanted to return from injury. He hated it, but when he came back, it defined him. Now Caitlin faces her own crossroads. Does she stay safe on the bench but face criticism? Or does she find a way back and prove herself as a warrior chasing a title? Either way, buckle up. This story is far from over. Nobody's expecting her to be 100% off the jump, but the optics of this, her sitting on the sidelines while her teammates are out there grinding, it's starting to look a little spooky. It makes people wonder if she's being protected too much or if she doesn't want to risk it. Either way, this situation is getting ugly, and it could have long-term effects on her career, her reputation, and even her legacy, because history remembers moments like this. Remember, even Michael Jordan once got shut down by management when he wanted to come back from injury. He hated it, but he came back stronger and it defined him. Now Caitlin Clark has her own crossroads. Does she stay on the bench safe but criticized? Or does she find a way back and cement herself as a warrior who fought for a title? Either way, guys, buckle up. This story is far from over. Let's break this one down real quick. I got it right here in front of me. And before we dive deep, big shout out to Caitlin3 on Twitter for putting this out there. According to this, there seems to be a legitimate pathway for Caitlin Clark to be activated in the playoffs. Under the current WNBA CBA, once a team submits its playoff roster at the end of the regular season, it's essentially locked in for the postseason. The league's hardship and 7-day contract rules end when the regular season does. So, a team can't sign a replacement player or pick someone up off the street once the playoffs begin. The only flexibility is if the team already has someone under contract but inactive, such as on maternity leave, suspension, or the injury list, in which case that player can be activated to replace an injured player. Otherwise, the team simply has to play shorthanded because there's no mechanism to add new players during the playoffs, without a rare league-approved exception. Now, looking at this right here, what they're basically saying is there's a real chance Caitlin Clark could sneak back in because of this loophole. But let me be real with y'all because you know I don't sugarcoat nothing. Do I honestly think Caitlin Clark is going to return? Do I think the league would even sign off on something like this? Nah, I don't see it happening, and honestly, I think that's messed up, bro. If she's healthy and ready, let her hoop. But from the looks of it, Caitlin herself might not even be pushing for it. She might just be done for the season, bro. Here's the kicker, though. If the Indiana Fevers somehow pull this off and win the WNBA championship, Caitlin Clark is technically going to be called a champion, right? They'll put that stamp on her. And you already know what's coming. People are going to run with that same old tired narrative. They're going to say, oh, Caitlin's first ring don't even count. She didn't carry them. She didn't earn it. Just like how folks clown LeBron with that sing talk. Same story, different name. But at the end of the day, bro, it is what it is. The history books don't care about opinions. They just say champion? All right, let's slide over to X real quick because Scott Agnes just dropped an update on Caitlin Clark. Now check this out. He's saying no, as the Fever keep winning in the playoffs, the Caitlin Clark questions are piling up, but here's why a return this postseason just ain't possible. He put it all in an article, so let's break it down. Now, look at this article on Fieldhouse File. He wrote, Why Caitlin Clark Can't Return During the Fever's Magical Playoff Run. It's been a while since the Indiana Fever have played this deep into the season. Last week, the franchise celebrated its first playoff win in a decade. We are not read all. Let's move our main point. Look at this. He wrote, One of those sidelined is the highest profile player in the league, Caitlin Clark. She has been out since July 15th after injuring to her right groin, later compounded by a bone bruise in her left ankle suffered a few weeks later. On September 4th, 2 weeks before the start of the playoffs, the Fever made a collaborative decisive to rule Clark out for the remainder of the 2025 season. She announced the news on social media. I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season, Clark wrote. I spent hours in the gym every day with the singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I am feeling. I want to thank everyone who had my back through all the uncertainty. General Manager Amber Cox added, We are looking forward to having her back at full strength to start the 2026 season. Still, with the Fever's extended postseason run, many fans are wondering if a return is possible. The answer is simple. No. At the end of the day, the reality is clear. Caitlin Clark will not return this season, no matter how deep the Fever's playoff push goes. While her absence is a huge blow to both the team and the league, the priority is making sure she comes back fully healthy and ready to dominate in 2026. Fever fans will have to be patient. But when she does return, you can expect Clark to come back stronger, hungrier, and more determined than ever. He posted today Clark practice video and wrote, For now, Clark remains a visible presence, proudly leading the Fever's bench mob. She's worn black Air Force Ones during 3 straight games. All Fever wins. So guys, here's the truth right here. In today's practice video, Caitlin looked good. Real good. You can see her moving. You can see her connecting with the ball, looking sharp, looking confident. And that's the type of energy Fever fans want to see. Now, we're not saying it's a guarantee she's coming back, but if there's even the slightest chance that we get to see CC in this closing stretch of the season, man, we'll be happy. We'll be more than happy. We'll be ecstatic because her presence alone changes everything for this team. And then you bring in Caitlin, who changed the world, changed the dynamic of basketball. And as a friend and as a player, you better appreciate her because, certain doors have opened because she's come to the Fever and you have to respect that. And I love the teammate and person in her because she's accepted it with so much grace and even welcomed us with open arms to, make this thing happen. So I think it just took a lot of big pieces to make, what it is now. A lot of big pieces to make, what it is now.